Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's going to be a quick inbox review of my newly arrived Gloster Gladiator. Let's have a look at this. Here we go guys, this is the Gloster Gladiator MkI. I'm sorry if it's widening out a little bit here. ICM kit, 132 scale, there you go. Brand new. Well, brand new to me as well, because I've just literally picked it up from the courier. So you'll just see it's a great, nice bit of box art on the front there. So usual ICM thing, box within a box. So we open this up here, and here we go. Initial thoughts, if I can just put that around there. The ICM kits I've had before were more tightly packed than this. It's all in one bag, as you can see. It doesn't matter if it's in one bag, but it does need to be a bit tighter packaged for my liking. But there you go, that's by the by. Cool, yeah, look at that, that looks lush. Okay, we're going to debag this and we'll have a look at it in due course. See you in a bit. Okay, so first up, guys, is going to be the instructions. And there's a big decal sheet there, look, so we'll just put that to one side just for a bit. So if we kind of have a look at this sprue tree map, looking like there's only one part that we use, so that's good for starters. Right, into the fuselage naturally would be the first thing to do. There's a bit of cockpit framing to go in. The excuse my throat, by the way, it's I've got a bit of a cold. The guns have got to go in, a bit of cockpit framing, have to see how thin that is. Onto a bit more framing. There will be colour call-outs. What are the call-outs? Oh, the call-outs, excuse me, are in Revel and Tamiya. Convert to your own paint of choice, though the colours are pretty obvious what they're going to be. Being RAFH is going to be interior green, flat green they call it, XF5. I don't have Tamiya, but do your own call outs on that. It's pretty standard stuff. All quite basic looking at it, which is good. All cockpit stuff. Cockpit goes together. The floor goes in. That looks quite tidy in there. If you can see that, it looks quite tidy. Don't forget the tail wheel. Framing for the other side of the fuselage, and then obviously fuselage comes together. It's all pretty standard stuff. This little arrangement here on the top of the Gladiator, I did the years and years ago, the Airfix 72 scale, and I fashioned my own out of a bit of copper wire. But have a look at that one, that looks alright. Nice big chunky aeroplane, isn't it? Watch your variants for chopping out your little post for the aerial wire. Could be posable tailplane. Do we get two sets of glazing, or is that how it is? I'll have to have a look. Wings are separate, which is different to 32 scale biplanes I've done in the past, which obviously, or even 48 scale biplanes, the wings tend to come like on a one unit thing. Okay, it's all pretty straightforward. I'm looking at anything that might be catching us out, and I don't think there's nothing that could be. We'll have to look at the struts, see how they go together, obviously. There's nothing here that's going to be catching us out. It looks like it could well be, build wise, quite I don't want to say it, not too bad. Undercarriage to go on. You've got the fairings for the wing guns. Excuse me. And then we get the engine. We'll have to look at the engine in more detail. Obviously we'll look at the plastic, but that looks like it builds up quite nicely. Bit of careful metallic painting on that, and that should turn out not too bad at all. Separate collector ring as well, so that one they're calling that M. So if we look on the front here, they're calling that as a bronze colour. So obviously you could paint that on a separate thing entirely. You don't have to mask it up, which is superb. Possibly you could open these up if you fancied it by looking at it. Obviously you need to have a you need to have a look at your references to see how that would open up. Engine looks quite nice indeed, actually. Comes as a separate kit, so you could treat that look as a separate entity to the rest of the airframe. Now here it is. This is what I was looking at, the rigging. Relatively not bad diagrams actually for the rigging, guys, and there's not a lot of it, he said. No, that's not too bad at all. Rigging looks all right. Rigging looks okay. Whether you want to get yourself some turnbuckles, obviously have a look at your references to see whether what they are, and if it actually had them in the first place, whether they were like internally to the wing. The schemes we get are 72 Squadron 38, which is going to be like a silver dope colour, and then we've got 607 Squadron 39, 112 Squadron in Egypt 1940, same kind of colour scheme, obviously the pattern's different. And then, oh right, they're the same, but they've got a bit of underneath. Obviously they're going to be looks like this, not whiting out on there. The underneath is going to be white and black, and then silver for the top wing and the tailplane. I would be certain that aftermarket Decals guys will be churning out all sorts of schemes for this. Great stuff. So now if we just have a quick look at the decals that come with the kit, they look alright, to be honest. Carrier film's a little bit big on this one here. You could probably cut that back down, possibly a little thick. I mean, on the Y and the K here, I don't know whether you can see that, the carrier film is like one big square. Possibly you'd want to trim that down a little bit. Although the O's is just tight to the O itself. It looks at the inside. Oh, actually, having said that, I think it probably is. It looks like we've got decals for the instrument panel. Again, they're separate decals as well, actually. They actually probably would be okay. Looks like these are probably made in-house, as there are no other manufacturers mark on these, but they look okay. Okay, on opening my single bag, we had the prop, which was spinning around on its own, literally. Let's put that to one side. But you are met with nice big lumps of chunky plastic. So let's have a look at all this. So let's clear the tables and then we'll have a look, see. So if we start obviously with the fuselage, okay. Let's have a quick look. Well, I'm going to tell you now, straight off the bat, that looks really nice. Fabric is detail is quite nice there. That's lovely. The panel lines that we have got are lovely and refined. You could probably say that the rivets for the panels, the rivets or the openers, could be a little bit oversized if you wanted to be really pedantic. It kind of reminds me of the trumpeter swordfish in 32 scale. That's very similar. The openers, whatever they're called. This fades away here, this panel line. Whether it's supposed to, I don't know. There's a little marks in the plastic, but I think that's probably where it was either cooled or where it was poured into the mould, perhaps. But certainly nothing. There's nothing there to worry about. That looks really nice. Internally, there's not a lot. we have got that cockpit framing, so yeah, so there wouldn't be a lot with the. That looks the right way around. That looks lush. If the previous sprue was the first sprue, sprue A, naturally this will be sprue B. You can see what we've got here, guys. We've got wings, throat, wings, and we've got the cowling. Wings are absolutely lovely. Positive points here for the struts and the carbane struts, or the cabane struts, so that should be absolutely fabulous. We've got right, okay, now we're going to talk about the Sea Gladiator. This isn't the Sea Gladiator, naturally. This, I reckon, is going to be where they're obviously going to do a Sea Gladiator, and this one here, probably the only difference between the Mark 1 and the Sea Gladiator is, I would imagine, I think, that don't quote me on this, is this part here, where I'm guessing is would the arrestor hook would be. I don't think there's much difference between the Mark 1 and a Sea Gladiator. Obviously the arrestor hook, I think there was provision for a dinghy, which would be more internal. So yeah, so there you go. So I think that could be it there. Fabric detail is really nice, quite restrained. I've got a little mark on mine there. Is that a scratch? No, it's not a scratch. I have just scratched it. That's not a scratch. Cowlings, they look quite nice, nicely detailed. Nothing on the inside. Inject pins you probably need to get rid of. Talking of inject pins, what we've got on the inside of here, we have got some locating pins, which is always good. Yeah, nothing on the inside, of course. On the outside, it looks fabulous. It'd be quite a nice size. Okay, now guessing that this is going to be sprue C. If you guessed that, well done, 5 stars. We've got some, obviously, the more wing detail. Lovely, look at this. This is so nice. Oh, I'm loving this kit already. Is that the door? That's the door. You can. Looks like it's posable open because it's a separate item. We've got the cockpit floor, which is what it is, I suppose. Cockpit floor. A bit more cockpit detail there for the back of the thing. We've got the spinner boss. Is that part of the instrument panel? By looking at it, there's the other part, the main part of it. That's a little bit. As I say, I'm no expert on the Gladiator cockpit panel. I mean, it is raised. We do have decals. Whether you'd want to wait for the Edward look panel or something like that, which I have to be coming out, or whether you make something of that. I personally will probably make something of that because that's what I'm like. I mean, you could make some, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. The wheels are a little bit. There is a tread there. Very fine. I think the wheels are quite bland anyway. Yeah, that's the boss for the engine, Mercury engine. It's got a bit hanging off there for me. Look, oh dear. Very nice, absolutely. Nothing on the inside, of course. There's no locating pins for the wheels there, guys. So you just watch that. Watch you don't glue your fingers to the actual wheel. We've got 2 doors, one on either side. Lovely panel lines on here. Nice bit of raised detail as well. Looks really nice. Lovely. So nice already, this is. And finally, we've got obviously sprue D. There's only 4 sprues. The plastic grey styrene sprues, I should say. Engine, you can see this. Well, you know, we said that. Yeah, okay. Let's be honest. Someone's going to come out with a really lovely resin engine with lots of PE, and it's going to look fantastic. But this actually looks really nice. That really looks quite nice indeed. You can tart that up yourself with a bit of lead wire, a bit of copper wire. So yeah, lovely. The guns aren't too bad at all. Drill out the barrel. They don't look too bad at all. Cockpit framing, to my eyes, looks a little chunky, but as I say, check your references. I would have thought, you know, you're probably not going to see loads in the cockpit, not particularly open cockpit unless you have the doors open. Strut looks quite nice detail on the end of the struts with the little pitot tube already built on. That'll come off, obviously. That'll be flying off. Two types of guns, obviously they're the wing guns, aren't they? Again, would have to drill out the barrels. There's the yoke's a bit bland. Again, a bit of wire going down the back there for the tip for the machine gun. There's the collector, nothing on the inside, no injector pins to clean off. Paint that separately. Is it that one? Beautiful. Fuel, obviously there must be a fuel cap there. And smaller details for all the little bits, some cockpit bits. Yeah, absolutely lush. We'll have a look at the spinner, the props in it fell off. Boss is nice. If you can see that, that's quite nicely detailed. There's no flash on any of these parts, not one bit of flash whatsoever. That's nice and sharp. I've even dug it into my finger. The join is just here. You can see where it's fallen off. Tiny little join. So that actually, although it could have been worse, I think I've probably got away with that. Just tied it up with a little infini sponge or sanding sponge, and then we're away. Stick that on a cocktail stick, get it nicely painted. Beautiful, lovely, nice prop. And then finally, we'll just have a look at the glazing. Sit in a separate bag. This is really dull. Excuse me. I should have had this already prepared. So this is sprue E. Let's have a look. Stick my finger. What should we stick in the end? Trying to jab it into my finger. Well, yeah, you can see that is, as you'd imagine from ICM, crystal clear. I don't think we use that one. Crystal clear. Easy to mask. Yeah, that's really nice. A couple of lenses. Yeah, get it right way around. Well, I've got to say that really does look a great kit. Relatively easy. Easy. I don't know. I haven't built it yet. Relatively simple to put together. It looks like a small part count, which is good for me, and probably good for you. There's going to be obviously there's going to be lots of aftermarket stuff coming out in the next couple of months. Whether you actually need it, well, again, is that debate. Does kits need it? The thing I possibly think it could do with is the wheels. They look a little bit bland. If you wanted to change the instrument panel, you can do. And there's no seat belts, obviously, within the kit. There's no PE whatsoever. So seat belts are a definite. Now, whether you make your own out of silver foil or tammy tape, or go and buy some nice fabric ones, or even some other ones, then I think it probably could do with that. The rigging doesn't seem too bad, whether you need to go and get some turnbuckles from wherever. you know where you get them from. That would be up to you, I guess. But that being said, I think it's a lovely, lovely kit, and well done ICM for bringing it to us. Fabulous. Obviously the Sea Gladiator, the Sea Gladiator is going to be coming out at some point. I would have imagined. I don't know whether it is, but you have to have a Sea Gladiator, Faith Open Charity and all that. If you don't know about that, Siege of Malta, please check it out. But yeah, nice, chunky, good looking, rugged aeroplane, and it looks like could be a fabulous kit. Okay, with that, I'll see you soon on the interwebs. Take care and happy modelling.